represent the Synod Council on Congregational Life. We are talking today with Pastor Matthew Manns about faith in action, and Pastor Manns is at Our Savior's Lutheran Church in Humboldt, Iowa. Thank you, Pastor Manns, for visiting with us today of Faith in Action through the youth at Our Savior's. I understand the youth in your parish have been working toward a mission trip. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
That's right. We are going to Philadelphia this summer with a organization called YouthWorks, and they are an ecumenical organization based in Minneapolis that plans and does all the logistical work in setting up these trips. They offer different weeks during the summer at many locations around the country and internationally where you can take a group of kids, as few as you want or as many as they allow. Typically there'll be 50 to 60 participants at a given site each week. And we have, from Our Savior's this year, we have 7 youth going, and I will be the male chaperone, and there will be one of the parents will be a female chaperone. So there'll be 9 of us all together, and we'll spend from Sunday noon till Friday morning at the site in inner city Philadelphia. And so my responsibility is to get the kids there safely, and once they're there, the staff of YouthWorks takes over and leads us through all the activities of the week until Friday morning, and then we're free to leave.
I understand the kids are working to pay their way, and they've had activities going on. Can you tell me
Correct.
some of their activities?
Yes, we've been shooting for raising around $600 to $700 per youth through this fundraising process, and some of the activities that they've done so far are a car wash, and they've done some gift wrapping at Christmas time and babysitting at Christmas time while parents go out and do Christmas shopping. They've provided coffee and goodies after church on many Sundays, and they've also sold sub sandwiches for Super Bowl, and they have another car wash coming up, and they've also done leaf raking, and they're well on their way to raising the money that they need.
With all these activities, I'm sure there's some intergenerational contacts being made and relationships being made. Has there been a time when you're aware of that, or and what's made that cooperation possible for those kids?
Well, I'll say that I've done these mission trips at 3 other churches where I've worked, and each time I've seen the youth come together with their parents, who are generally the ones that are helping, generally the adults that are helping with the planning and fundraising that goes into these trips. When I think about this group, I think about just even the leaf raking that we did this fall. When we were at different people's houses, we got to visit with the owners of the houses, and they were always very interested in the youth that we're helping, and many times they already knew kind of who the youth were, but they didn't know them very well, and maybe they would invite us in for snacks while we were taking a break from working, and give some of the congregational, the older members, maybe a chance to meet with some of the younger ones that hadn't had that opportunity to chat one-on-one, or just to get to build relationships a little bit. So I see that as a real positive of a program like this, and also just the youth getting to know the parents of their friends in a different setting other than hanging out at their friend's house or whatever. If they're out raking leaves together or washing cars, they can generally get to know each other in a different way, a little more relaxed way, and a little more time to just build relationship. And also the parents and the other adults in the congregation just really love to see the kids working in and around the community, and that's another aspect of what our fundraising has been. We didn't want to just sell things. We wanted to purposely have fundraisers where the kids were actually doing much of the work themselves, either doing all the work themselves, or for, like when we sold sub sandwiches, we actually bought all the stuff to make them, and the kids put the sandwiches together themselves, as well as, you know, selling them, and then they offered to deliver those as well. So, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback from the congregation on that fact, that they like to see the kids doing something to earn the money, whether again it is raking leaves or washing cars or babysitting. They're out there doing something, and not just selling a product. So that's been a real positive, another positive aspect of what we've been doing.
Sounds like they've been having fun besides, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's part of the relationship building or the group building before we even go on the trip. And for this trip, one of the mothers, as I said, is going along, and she's been actively fundraising with us as well. So by the time we get in the van and leave for the trip, we'll already have a lot of group building that's taken place. And one of the experiences that I've had with these mission trips, and just to give you a little more background on what we do when we get there, is with this particular group, YouthWorks, we end up painting houses, or maybe cleaning out old houses that need to be taken care of a little bit, and in the process what we'll end up doing is meeting with the owners of the houses, or the people that live there, and building relationship with them. It's all about relationship building again, and that's one of the cornerstones of YouthWorks ministry, is to allow those opportunities for relationship building, and in the process have the faith strengthened of the individuals that go. We also work with underprivileged youth in these cities that we go to, cities or towns. In Philadelphia, I have a feeling we'll get a really good taste of what it's like to be in the inner city, which most of our kids don't know much about, and I think they're excited about that aspect of the trip. And I've just found that whenever you can take youth or adults out of their usual routine and out of their comfortable environments that they are used to, that they are more open to learning and being challenged in their faith. And that's what I've really witnessed with these trips, is kids being open to new adventures and new. One of my last trips that I took, I remember the kids saying, "Well, what can we do when we get back home? You know, to help with those people that don't have enough food to eat." And there was an interest then, once we got back, in working at the local food pantry and trying to make a difference in their own community once they saw how they could make a difference somewhere else. And so that for me has been really an eye-opening experience, to see how much youth and the adults that go on these trips as well see that they can make a difference in the world, and they probably get more out of it themselves than the people do that are being served, and that's okay, because
okay.
it's everyone benefits actually. But it's a really good situation when I've experienced these mission trips before, and it's not all it's more acting out the gospel rather than proselytizing others. It's more just being faith in action.
Absolutely. Another example of God's work, our hands. Has there been a time when you have especially felt God at work in these activities?
Well, when I've seen some of our on these previous trips, when I've seen some of the young people step up to the plate and really get in there and work with the kids in kind of like a vacation Bible school setting, where they'll be really interacting with the kids. Maybe they at first are a little bit reticent to kind of join in the fun, but by the end of the week the kids are climbing all over them and getting you know, rides on their shoulders, and by the end of the week the kids have become really the people that were working